बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। BSN थर्ड सेमेस्टर प्रोफेशनल कम्युनिकेशन की ये मेट्स का पेपर है। फाइनल का पेपर है किसी कॉलेज का। यूनिवर्सिटी के लिए भेजते हैं एग्ज़ाम के लिए। MCQs को प्रिपेयर करते हैं। MCQs नंबर 1, इन कम्युनिकेशन प्रोसेस द पर्सन हु इनिशिएट द मैसेज इज कॉल्ड सेंडर। द प्रोसेस ऑफ converting thought into the symbol is called interpreting. Option B, encoding. Encoding is right option. MCQ 3, the process of interpreting symbol and converting them into the meaning is called option A, decoding. 4, which model of communication is considered as one-way process? Transactional model. Option B, linear model. Option B is right. 5, the person who transmits the message is called option A, sender. 6, normal communication is wherein the information या message is transferred from one person to another. This is called interpersonal, upward, downward, या option D, personal. This is called personal, from one person to the another. This को हम personal कहते हैं. 7, which of these type of communication is likely to be more formal? Face to face conversation, telephone call. Option C, email in business setting is called more formal. Option C is correct. 8, which of the following is a major challenge in cross culture communication? Option A, stereotype, understanding body language, clear activation of ideas, active listening. Option A, stereotype. 9, what is the primary purpose of external communication in an organization? To inform employee about company news, to build a relationship with customer. Option C, to convey official information to external stakeholder. Option C is correct. MCQs 10, the context refer to the relationship between the sender and the reviewer, physical, social. No, option B is the correct, social. 11, communication strength and relationship is an organization. Employer or boss, employee, family, employer and employer. In communication strength and relationship in an organization में जो होता है उसको employee. Option C is correct. 12, letter, email and telephone are the example of option A, channel. Option A is correct. 13, all communication event have a resource, start, end and source. उसका source होता है option D. Communication is a non-stop talking program process. Option C is correct. 15, message is any signal that trigger the response of option A, receiver. 16, context refer to the similarity of the background between the sender and receiver, physical, social. Option C, cultural. Cultural context refer to the similarity of background between the sender and receiver. Option C is correct. 17, environmental barrier are the same as noise, physical noise. Option B is correct. Verbal communication uses and to express emotions are thought, body and language, facial expression, eye contact, body language and oral and written. Option D is correct. 19, a certain glance is an example of verbal communication, written communication, oral communication या नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन. ग्लेंस जो होता है वो नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन होता है. ऑप्शन डी. 20, a company's logos are used to tell about their brand and mission, known as a dash communication, visual communication. Option C, which of the following is not an element of communication process? Cycle, channel, time. Option B is correct. 22, use of abbreviations in a communication leads to misinterpretation of message is an example of social barrier, linguistic barrier. No, option B is correct. 23, what type of communication is through television? Mass media communication. 24 from the given below, identity the psychological barrier to communication: noise, poor signal, pre pre, pre prejudice. Option C is correct. 25. In the classroom, delayed feedback can happen due to the use of technology, expanded communication, semantic noise की वजह से होता है. Option C is correct. Communication models that emphasize feedback as a key element of an interactive model. Option A is correct. 27. In visual communication, what is the purpose of using symbols and icons? To confuse the audience, to make the message longer and more complicated, to provide a visual shorthand that communicating mean quickly and clearly. Option C is correct. 28. The adaptability in a communication mean adjusting your communication style based on the audience and situation. No, option B is the correct. Which of the following is the true about conciseness in the principle of communication? Option A, it involves providing all information. It relies on long detailed explanation. Option C, it uses complex language to make the message more formal. Option D, it focus on delivering the message without unnecessary word or repetition. No, which of the following is true about conciseness in principle of communication? No, option D is the correct. 30. Diagonal communication means a manager communicate with their direct reporters. Option B, an employee from one department communicate with another employee from another department with different position is called diagonal communication. Option B is the correct. 31. Example of active listening during conversation is a thinking about your response while other person is speaking, nodding and providing verbal cues. Option B. 32. What is the primary function of etiquette in communication? Primary function of etiquette in communication mean to facilitate a digital communication, to express emotions, to maintain social norms and respect between the communication. Option C. Option C. Why is intrapersonal communication is important for an individual? To maintain it enables self-reflection, goal setting and emotional understanding. Option D is correct. Semantic barrier in communication involve a person being too tired to listen properly. Option B, using slang या regional dialect that the audience does not understand. No, option B, semantic barrier. Option B is correct. 35. The psychological barrier in communication involve difference in educational background, using different language in communication. Option C, personal biases and prejudice. Option C is correct. 36. Which of the following is not type of communication channel? Visual communication and emotional communication. Option B. 37. Effective way to overcome psychological barrier involve use body language to convey the message more effectively, use a simple language and avoid slang, use complex vocabulary to impress the audience, encourage active listening and ensure the audience are relaxed and open to message. Option D is the correct. 38. To overcome physical barrier, it's important to minimize background noise and ensure proper tools like clear audio are available. Option A is correct. 39. Important aspects of good etiquette in communication is maintain appropriate body language and facial expression. Option A is correct. Upward communication is important in organization for it help manager delay order and decision to employ. It ensure the flow of information from one to another. It allow employee to express feedback, concerns, and suggestions to higher management. Option C is the correct. 41. What is the drawback of the linear model of communication? It's too complex to understand. It's ignore the feedback mechanism. Option B. Effective communication presupposes non-alignment, dominance या understanding या opacity. No. Option C. Understanding. When the patient is feeling alone and having a hard dealing with their diagnosis, then what kind of a communication would be the most useful for the patient? Silence, empathy, reflection, summarization. Empathy communication. Option B. A patient is angry about the delayed medication administration. Which response by the nurse is most therapeutic? You should not be angry, it was an honest mistake. Option B. I can see that you are upset. Can you tell me more about it? What does the S in S bar stand for? Symptom, subjective data, situation, summary. तो एस का मतलब होता है सिचुएशन, बी बैकग्राउंड और फिर ए का असेसमेंट और आर का रिस्पांस. नो. ऑप्शन सी इज करेक्ट. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग बेस्ट describe the primary purpose of the S bar communication tool? To document patient outcome, to guide patient interview, to provide a structure method for communicating critical information. Structure method for communicating critical information. Option C is correct. Why is the S bar tool considered effective in healthcare communication? Option A. It standardizes communication, reducing errors and improving patient safety. Option A is correct. 48. Who can use the S bar tool in a healthcare setting? Only physician or nurses, administrative staff, any healthcare team member involved in patient care. 49. What type of information is typically gathered during the P, procaution या palliation step of OPQRST? Past medical history. What makes the symptom better or worse is called procaution. So option B is correct. The R in the OPQRST stand for which of the following? R का मतलब होता है radiates, where the pain moves are spread. Option A is correct. Why is the OPQRST tool especially valuable in emergency medical setting? To reduce need for diagnostic tests, it enables faster documentation, it ensures through and focus symptoms assessment. Ensure through the focused symptom assessment. Option C is correct. 52. What is the best definition of emotional intelligence? The ability to solve complex problems quickly. Option B. The ability to understand and manage your own emotions and emotions of others is called emotional intelligence. Option B is correct. 53. In the professional setting, empathy primarily allows a person to solve technical problems more quickly. Option B. Understand and respond to the emotions of colleagues and clients. Option B is the correct. Why is emotional intelligence important in leadership? It helps leader manipulate team emotions for better performance. It increases leader IQ. It improves communication, conflict resolutions, and team morals. Option C is correct. 55. Which of the following is a key characteristic of assertive communication? Aggressive tone and body language, passive resistance, clear, honest, and respectful expression of thoughts. Option C is correct. 56. Which communication style often leads to resentment due to the unexpressed need? This is assertive या passive. 57. What is the likely outcome of consistently using assertive communication in a workplace. Increase conflict due to strong opinion, less responsibility for one section. Option C. Enhanced mutual respect and understanding. 58. What type of body language typically accompanies assertive communication? Uh, sl- Sludged postures and avoid eye contact, intense eye contact and finger pointing, nervous, fidgeting and whispering. Option D. Open postures, steady eye contact, relaxed tone. Option D. 59. 60. In conflict resolution, assertive communication helps by avoiding the issue to prevent escalation, blaming others to win the argument, addressing the issue constructively and collaboratively. Option C is correct. Which of the following is a key principle in de-escalating a hostile patient? Standing very close to the patient to show authority, speaking louder than the patient to gain control. Option C. Maintaining a calm tone and non-threatening body language. Option C. Which of the following is a potential cause of the hostility in the patient? Mental health condition, chronic pain or illness, miscommunication या unmet expectation, all of the above. 63. What role does empathy play in handling hostile behavior in healthcare? It helps justify the aggressive behavior. Option B. It builds trust and reduces tension. Option B is correct. 64. What which is the most effective communication strategy when facing verbal aggressions from a patient? Respond with equal intensity to assert dominance, use silence as form of punishment, use calm, clear and respectful communication. Option C is correct. 65. Which communication approach is most effective in reducing patient aggression? Giving direct orders to show control. Option B. Use active listening and empathetic response. Option B is correct. 66. What is the primary goal of the nurse-patient relationship? To become friend with the patient, to complete all medical procedure. Option C. To provide therapeutic environment for healing and support. 67. Which of the following is an essential characteristic of the therapeutic nurse-patient relationship? Sympathy, social conversation, physical attraction, mutual trust and respect. Option D is correct. 68. During which phase of the nurse-patient relationship does the nurse establish boundaries and define rules? Working phase, orientation phase, termination phase, assessment phase. ओरिएंटेशन फेज़ में नर्स पेशेंट रिलेशनशिप का क्या करता है? बाउंड्रीज और रूल्स डिफाइन करता है. 69. In the working phase of the nurse patient relationship, the nurse primarily focus on resolving health problems collaboratively with the patient, gathering patient history, introducing herself to the patient, saying goodbye to the patient. Option A is correct. 70. A nurse and a patient are actively working together to solve health problems and meet treatment goals. The interaction falls under which phases? Option B. Working phase. 71. A nurse expresses anxiety before meeting patient and review medical record to prepare. This scenario belongs to which phase? This scenario belongs to pre-interaction phase. Option D. A nurse discusses achievements and prepares the patient for discharge. What phase does this reflect? Termination phase. Option D. 73. What is the best definition of multicultural communication? Speaking multiple languages within one conversation, communicating between people from the same cultural background. Option C, the exchange of information between individuals from different cultural background. Option C is correct. 74. Which scale is most important in developing effective multicultural communication? Dominating the conversation to show authority, memorizing cultural stereotype. Option C, active listening and cultural sensitivity. Option C. 75. Which of the following is a common barrier to multicultural communication? Cultural assumptions and stereotype. Option B is the correct. 76. How does effective multicultural communication benefit teamwork in a diverse workplace? It reduces the need for training. It encourages everyone to think the same way. It promotes mutual respect and collaboration. So option C is correct. 77. In individualistic culture, communication is more likely to focus on group cons- consensus. Option B emphasize personal goals and opinion. Option B is correct. 78. A nurse notices a patient frequently smiles and nods but does not follow instruction. This may indicate the patient is annoying. A patient agrees with the treatment plan. Cultural use of nonverbal cues to show politeness or avoid conflict. Option C. 79. When a patient smiles and nods frequently, it might mean all except. Option A, they agree with the care plan. They are being polite. They may not fully understand. They are avoiding disagreement. E.t. How many healthcare providers improve cross-cultural non-verbal communication? Use more gestures to add understanding. Assume all non-verbal signs are universal. Option C. Be observant, avoid assumptions, and ask for feedback. Option C is correct. 81. What does cultural communication primarily refer to? Communication between people who speak the same language. Option B. Exchange of message influenced by cultural norms, values, and beliefs. Option B is correct. 82. In cultures which high context communication, the meaning is often explicit and directly stated in words. Option B, understood through gestures, relationships, and nonverbal cues. Option B is correct. A patient avoids eye contact during a conversation. A culturally sensitive interpretation would be the patient is being disrespectful, the patient is not interested in conversation. Eye contact may be considered rude or inappropriate in the patient culture. Option C is correct. 84. Which of the following best describes code switching in cultural communication? Switching from written to spoken language. Option B, adjusting language or behavior based on cultural context. Option B is correct. 85. Which of the following is a common result of the language barrier in the healthcare communication? Increased cultural competence, improved patient satisfaction. Option C, misunderstanding of medical instruction. Option C is correct. 86. Cultural stereotype in communication can lead to better understanding of patient needs, biased assumptions, and reduced trust. Option B is correct. 87. Environmental barrier to communication can lead to use of unfamiliar familiar medical terms. Option B, background noise, poor lighting, and lack of privacy. Option B is correct. 88. Which is the best strategy to overcome stereotype in multicultural communication? Learn one set of cultural rules and apply them to all. Option B, ask each person questions to understand their individual preference. Option B is correct. 89. Which of the following is best example of active listening? Write down everything the patient say, nodding while thinking about your next questions. Option C, maintaining eye contact, giving verbal cues like I see and responding appropriately. Option C is correct. 90. A nurse says you are feeling anxious about the surgery, right? This is an example of clarifying, reflecting, summarizing. Option D, restating. Option D is correct. 91. Which technique involve helping the patient recognize and express their feeling, often by mirroring emotional content? This is option A, reflecting. 92. A nurse say, can you tell me more about what you meant, what you said, you felt strange? This is an example of restating, clarifying. Option B is correct. 93. At the end of the conversation, the nurse say, so far we have discussed your concern about medication and the changes in your sleep pattern. This is an example of clarifying, reflecting, and summarizing. Option C is correct. 94. The technique of summarizing is most useful for avoiding awkward, awkward silence, ending the conversations quickly. Option C, reviewing and reinforcing the key points of the conversation. Option C is correct. 95. Which of the following is a non-therapeutic communication? Active listening, giving false resonance. Option B is correct. 96. A nurse tells a patient, don't worry, everything will be fine. This is an example of summarizing, giving advice, false resonance. Option C is correct. False resonance. 97. Which of the following nurse responses is non-therapeutic? You seem upset. Do you want to talk about it? Let's explore what options you have. Option C, you should just try harder to get better. Option C is correct. 98. Changing the subject when a patient is expressing emotion is a therapeutic to reduce stress, non-therapeutic because it avoids the patient concern. Option B is correct. The statement others have to worse than you is an example of empathy, clarification, minimizing. Option C is correct. 100. The characteristic What characteristic an aggressive communication style healthcare? Expressing needs clearly and respectfully, avoiding confrontation and expressive passive behavior. Option C, dominating conversations and disregarding others feeling. Option C is correct. Thank you. Allah Hafiz for communication.